Mastering the ping will completely transform your game. With just one pass, you're able to switch play or get in behind the defense in just a matter of seconds. And if you can't do it, then you're easy to defend, since defenders know you either have to dribble or play small. They have nothing to worry about. They can cheat forward and press hard. But mastering this one pass makes them respect you, makes them defend you honestly, and that opens you up to be able to do anything you want on the field. Today, I'll break down the proper ping technique into very basic steps, and I'll share some mistakes that are making it so you can't get any power or height on your pings. So that way, you can master the ping regardless of your age or your skill level. Welcome back to the channel, or just welcome if you're new. The most common problem I see when I'm correcting my player's ping technique actually has nothing to do with the pass itself. It has to do with what happens before it. Your touch needs to be outside your hip line and about 3 or 4 yards ahead of you. Don't kill your touch right at your feet. Get the ball out of your feet several yards so you can get power on your strike. Now, if you do that and you take your touch at about a 45-degree angle away from your body, then it will be both far enough and wide enough away from your body to set you up for the perfect ping. So if you're not getting enough power or distance on your pings, focus on fixing this one thing first. And that's because if you're not taking a big enough touch out of your feet, then it's very difficult for you to get up underneath the ball when you strike it. And that's costing you height and power. If your touch is too straight though, then you aren't able to fully extend your hips. And this results in you getting less power on your pings. And last thing, while this is quite obvious, your touch needs to be flat across the ground. If your touch is bouncy, it's difficult to strike the ball properly and your pings will be more inconsistent. If you want better pings, then improve your first touch. If you've enjoyed the video so far or you've gotten value from it, then please leave a like. It helps me out and it tells me that you want more videos like these. Thank you. Now that we've set ourselves up to succeed, the next thing we need to correct is our standing foot placement. This is a pretty easy fix because we actually want to position ourselves just like when we're shooting. You want to plant your standing foot about 4 inches to the side of the ball and in line with it, or even just ahead of it. So that way, as the ball rolls, before you make contact with it, now it's in line with your planted foot. Lots of you will tell me that you struggle to get power on your shots and pings. And for a lot of you, this is why. Either you plant your standing leg too close, making it impossible to fully extend your leg and transfer your momentum through the ball, or you stand too far away and you're lunging at the ball. Most of your power is gone before you even reach the ball. If you keep kicking the ground and it's hurting your foot when you're playing pings or taking shots, then you need to plant your standing foot another inch or two away from the ball. Now, if you feel like you're reaching or you're stretching just to play the ball, then your standing foot is too far away and you actually need to move it about an inch or two closer to the ball. When you get this detail right, it'll feel really easy and natural for you just to make contact with the ball. But the issue is, in order to get that, it requires you to time your run-up correctly. Speaking of, when you're running up to the ball, try not to stutter or approach it slowly. The faster you run up, the better. Your run-up should be fast to build up speed and momentum to help you ping the ball farther. If you want a more powerful ping and increase the distance the ball goes, then this is a simple tweak that will go a long way. Okay, so quickly to summarize, so far we have a great first touch, setting up the ball to be struck, and then we have a perfectly timed run-up. So that way we're building momentum as we go, and then we're planting our standing foot 4 inches to the side of the ball. Now, when we're striking the ball, you want to use this part of your foot, and if you feel your foot right now, I'm talking about the thick, curved bone part on the top of your foot. Use that part of your foot and then hit at the middle of the ball or just below it. And depending where exactly on the ball you strike it, that will change the type of ping. If you hit lower on the ball, you will get a more lofted or chipped pass with more backspin on it. But if you hit right at the middle of the ball, your ping will be lower and have less spin on it, making it more driven. So let's take a second to apply this to a real life, real game situation. When would you want to play a more lofted or a more driven ping? Let's say you're playing a team that has a high defensive line, and you have a teammate making a run in behind them. In this case, you want to ping the ball over the defenders into space for your striker to run onto. To play this type of pass, you need to hit lower on the ball. This will cause the ball to go up higher and be a more lofted or chipped type of long ball. This is perfect because the ball will drop down right into his path rather than running through to the goalkeeper. If you play a driven ping, your teammate won't be able to catch up to the pass before the keeper can come and claim it. Here's a different example. In this case, we want to switch the point of attack quickly to beat the defense around the other side. For this type of long ball, you want to hit higher up on the ball, at the middle of it or just below it. This will keep the ball lower and it will travel with more speed to your teammate. The quicker the ball moves for this pass, the better, because it gives less time for the defense to shift and get across. If you play a lofted ping for this, the defense is more likely to go and intercept the pass. Regardless of what type of ping you're looking to hit, we need to lock our ankle as we're making contact with the ball. To do this, all you need to do is flex your calf and keep your toes pointed down the entire time you're in contact with the ball. This will not only help the pass have more power, but it'll also make it more consistent. If you don't lock your ankle though, then some of that power is going to be lost, and then your ping is more likely to slice left or right. Now, if you want more backspin on these balls, there's two ways you can do it. First of all, hit a little bit lower on the ball, and that'll naturally create that backspin, but also you can flick your toes up as the ball is leaving your foot, and this will add even more backspin to your passes. Here's a side-by-side comparison on how it affects your ping. It has less power and it'll drop nicely for a player running into space. But if you're just learning the ping, just practice by locking your ankle. And once you've mastered that, you can start tweaking the different parts of your technique to play variations of it for specific game situations you find yourself in. Now, I often get messages from you guys asking if I could coach you, and while that's not possible unless you're around me locally, I will still continue to make videos like these for you for free. But if you'd like an extra 2 full training sessions a month, then consider becoming a channel icon. Your support helps me to continue to do this and put out videos for free for everyone. Thank you. Throughout this video so far, I've made several comparisons between your ping technique and your shooting technique. But one key difference between them, though, is that when you're playing a long ball, you want to lean back and to the side. You want to lean to the opposite side of the foot you're striking the ball with. So if you're right-footed, you want to lean to your left and vice versa. These leans are important for 2 reasons. Firstly, when you lean back, it makes it easier to hit lower on the ball, getting underneath it, so that way you can get more height on your pings. That's why you don't lean back when you shoot, because if you do it, you're going to blaze it up over the bar. Also, leaning back into the side positions your hips farther away from the ball than they would be if you were leaning over it. This makes it easier for you to get full knee extension. Now, while you do see this some in your shooting technique, it's not as pronounced as it is when you're playing a ping. And that's because you're trying to keep the ball lower and prevent it from going up over the bar. If your foot keeps getting caught in the ground and it hurts to play these types of passes, you're either too close to the ball, like I was talking about earlier, or you're not leaning to the back and to the side enough. Here's the difference between the height, power, and quality of 2 pings, with the difference being that I wasn't leaning back in the right clip. And this is how you get more power on your pings. There's 3 key areas. Like I said earlier, build momentum in your run-up so that way you can transfer that force through the ball. Secondly, hit it with your ankle lock so that way all the force goes through the ball rather than out through your toes. And finally, the lean. This allows your complete knee extension, allowing your hip flexors and your quads to fully contract, and then you're using all that muscular force and it's going through the ball. If your knee is partly bent when you strike the ball, you're taking distance off your pass. And sometimes you might want to because your teammate is closer to you on the field, but that is on purpose, not because of bad technique. Now, for a lot of players, this detail comes naturally if you are leaning to the side, and that is to bring your opposite arm up to help balance your body as you're striking the ball. It's a small detail, but it makes a massive difference. So now, we have a perfect first touch, setting us up for success, and we're building momentum through our run-up and timing it correctly. We also are planting our standing leg about 4 to 6 inches to the side of the ball and in line with it. Now, when we're striking the ball, our ankle is locked. We're hitting at the middle of the ball or just below it, and we're also leaning back into the side with our opposite arm up for balance, and then the last piece is that we have a short, snappy follow-through. It almost looks like the follow-through for a curler. Our leg swings around our standing leg and you balance on it. This happens because how hard we're leaning to that side, not because we're trying to get side spin on the ball. We don't want that. You need to make sure you're hitting at the midline of the ball, because if you hit to either side, then your pings will veer off a ton. But I'm not done yet. Here's the exact steps I use to master my own ping technique and that I use to help my players master theirs. Now, the first step to learning the ping is being able to actually do it from a dead ball. The goal is to be able to do that 8 out of 10 tries without it bouncing more than once before it reaches the goal. Now, I don't expect everybody to be able to do it from 60 yards. So if you're 10 years or younger, your target is 20 yards. If you're 11 or 12, your target should be 25 to 30 yards. For 13 and 14-year-olds, your target should be 35 yards. Now, for 15 and 16-year-olds, your target should be 40 to 45 yards. And then for 17 and 18-year-olds, you should be getting 50 plus yards on your pings. Remember, this takes into account that bounce too. If you need to move closer to the goal than that as you're learning, then do it. You'll know when you need to move back because by that point, you'll start pinging it over the goal. Once you've done 8 out of 10, move on to the next progression, which is rolling the ball first. Adding this part introduces the timing of your run-up and your setup touch into the equation. And like I said earlier in the video, these are the two hurdles that players normally mess up on when they're trying to learn the technique. That's why we took it out in step 1, so you can focus on the contact point of your foot and the ball, locking your ankle, the lean, and your follow through. The issue with it, though, is that it isn't game realistic at all. I mean, think about it. How many times in a game do you hit a ball that's literally not moving? Not many, right? Only on free kicks. So for this, use the same distances I provided earlier for each range, but getting more power should be easier since the ball also has momentum. Get 8 out of 10, and then you're ready for the next step, which is receiving the ball and then pinging it. Now, while this seems really similar to just rolling the ball out of your feet and striking it, this really hones in on your first touch. It's easy to roll the ball out of your feet correctly every time, but just receiving the ball out of the air or receiving the ball from the pass makes it just a little bit more challenging, but it's also more game realistic. Once you're at this point though, each progression should come much easier for you. The last progression is the one-touch ping, and this is the most difficult because it also requires you to have the most control. Since the ball coming in has momentum, we have to focus more on our contact point with our foot and the ball, since any fraction of an inch off the correct spot on the ball will ruin the pass. It'll be hooked or sliced, barely get off the ground, or be really lofted. This tests the mastery of your technique. And at this point, most of this will be coming naturally to you. But what won't be coming naturally to you is using your weak foot for anything at all. So if you want your weak foot to feel like your strong foot, then watch this video, where I give you the steps to improve your weak foot so that way it gets almost as good, if not as good as your strong foot. Thanks for watching.